It's Friday, October 14th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with a look at the latest local news, including a Milford woman sentenced in connection to a heroin overdose, new details in the investigation into a Trumbull police commissioner, and a rundown of our top stories of the week. Donald Eng joins us today for a look back on this day in history and a Nutmeg sports update. He'll also give us a look at the forecast. But first, 3 people were injured when an SUV crashed on Route 8 South in Shelton by exit 11 this morning. Connecticut State Police said the injuries are not life-threatening, but those people needed to be extricated. NBC Connecticut reports that 3 people were taken to the hospital. We'll check back for updates on that story. And a West Haven woman was sentenced for her role in selling heroin to a Milford resident who overdosed and died last January. According to a press release from Deirdre Daly, United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, on October 7th, 23-year-old Alyssa Jelliff was sentenced by Judge Janet C. Hall in New Haven to 12 months and 1 day in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release for distributing heroin that was involved in the overdose death in Milford back in January 2015. According to court documents and statements made in court, on January 12, 2015, a 39-year-old man died from an apparent heroin overdose at his home in Milford. The investigation, which included analysis of text messages from the person's cell phone, revealed that Jelliff and Christopher Fogler sold $170,000 worth of heroin to that person on the evening of January 11th. On January 16, 2015, a court-authorized search of Jelliff and Fogler's residence revealed about 10 bags of heroin and assorted drug paraphernalia, including a digital scale, razor blades, and cut straws. Jelliff and Fogler were both arrested on January 16th. Jelliff had been detained since February 26th when her bond was revoked. And Darien has had significantly more stolen cars reported in the last 2 years than other neighboring towns. A quick comparison shows that Darien's stolen car statistics, while minor relative to neighboring Stamford and Norwalk, are significantly higher than neighboring towns of similar size and demographics. From 2015 through mid-September 2016, Darien, which has a population of over 21,000 people, saw 34 stolen cars. That's nearly 8 times the next highest towns of New Canaan, with a population of just over 20,000, and Wilton with about 18,000 people. You can get more information on that at DarienTimes.com. And a couple was charged after getting caught having sex in the parking lot of a Home Depot in Fairfield. Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a witness called police to report the couple were having sex in a car that was parked in the corner of the Home Depot parking lot back on October 6th. 31-year-old Michael Quinlan of Hirsch Road and 27-year-old Javonica Justy of Clifford Street in Bridgeport were each issued a ticket for creating a public disturbance. Police received the call about the couple around 4:15 in the afternoon. The caller said the man was on top of the woman in the backseat of the car, and it was obvious what was taking place. When the officer arrived, he found the two were not wearing pants. Excuse me. The couple told police they got caught up in the heat of the moment and that they didn't have much time and they were only seeing each other for a short while. But shifting gears now, this is a story that Donald Eng's been covering at the Trumbull Times, but new details in the investigation into a police commission chairman in Trumbull. Police Commission Chairman Roger McGovern did not respond to a police request for a statement regarding the allegations against him. That, according to a report written by the Trumbull police sergeant who conducted the investigation and concluded that McGovern should be charged with impersonating a police officer. Sergeant Michael Pires wrote in his report that he had obtained a statement from Bernardino Nieva and viewed numerous videos taken by surveillance cameras inside Stop and Shop and the store's parking lot. Those videos showed McGovern entering the store back on August 27th and September 9th, consistent with Nieva's statements that McGovern was attempting to collect $2,600 from him for a minor traffic incident. On both visits, McGovern left the store after a few minutes and did not appear to purchase anything. Nieva also claimed that McGovern showed him a badge on August 27th. People's Bank security videos from that day show McGovern approach Nieva while he's working at the self-checkout location. And during that conversation, McGovern reaches into his right rear pocket, removes his wallet, and holds it in front of him at the upper abdomen level. Nieva glances down at it, then quickly looks up. Pires wrote that at no time in the video does McGovern purchase anything or use the bank's ATM. After viewing that video, Police Chief Michael Lombardo informed Pires that he had asked McGovern a few days earlier if he had showed his badge, and McGovern said that he never did. The following day, Pires called McGovern and left a voicemail requesting a statement, and that call was not returned. A short time later, Pires indicated his intention to attempt to bring an impersonation charge against McGovern. Lombardo said, however, the decision this week not to charge McGovern was made by the state's attorney's office. The story has also led to some political backlash in Trumbull, and you can read more about that at TrumbleTimes.com. But let's switch gears now and throw it over to Donald Ang, who will take a look at the forecast for us today. Don.
Well, Kate, looking out the window, you can see it is a beautiful day out there right now. Sunny and temperatures comfortably in the low 60s. We're going to see a steady breeze about 20 miles an hour through the early afternoon. That should slow to about 10 miles an hour by kickoff time on Friday evening. Some overnight clouds that will hang around on another mostly sunny day on Saturday, a high of 62 and a light breeze about 12 miles an hour for the FCAC football teams in action. Mostly clear overnights tomorrow with temperatures dropping into the low 50s heading into Sunday morning. And then off and on periods of sun and clouds during the day Sunday, a little bit warmer. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s and mostly cloudy skies into the late evening and overnight with an expected low of just about 60 degrees and then a rainy Monday morning to start off the week next week. That's going to do it for the weather.
All right, thanks so much, Don. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Don takes a look back on this day in history. He'll also bring you today's Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have some more local news coming up after this. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. InSports College Baseball Coaches Camp takes place at InSports on October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This unique, limited-space event features many of the area's top college baseball coaches who will work with high school players in a hands-on clinic setting as well as evaluate their infield skills. For more information, contact Mike Buswell at InSports, 203-268-1214. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this October 14th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Ang to take a look back on this day in history. Don, what do you have for us today?
Well, Kate, I have unjustified rage out of the Midwest, but first we're going to go all the way back to 1066, the Battle of Hastings at the height of the Norman Conquest. William the Conqueror defeats the English army and Harold II of England. Now, this battle is partially responsible for what you're hearing right now. You see, the Normans spoke a Scandinavian-French hybrid. The Anglo-Saxon English spoke a German-Latin hybrid. Over the centuries, Anglo-Norman melted with Anglo-Saxon to form modern English, and it changed the world. Didn't stop it, though. Anyway, to 1912, while campaigning in Milwaukee, Teddy Roosevelt shot in the chest by a local saloon keeper. The bullet penetrated his eyeglass case and passed through the folded 50-page speech he had planned to deliver. Roosevelt went on with the speech, telling the audience it takes more than that to kill a bull moose, and explaining that the wound would force him to cut his speech short. He then spoke for 90 minutes with blood seeping through his shirt. To 1926, the children's book Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne first published. Milne wrote the book for his son, Christopher Robin Milne. That's his bear right there. Milne would write one more book of Winnie the Pooh stories. That's called The House at Pooh Corner in 1928. But by 1929, the real Christopher Robin and his literary counterpart had both gone to boarding school, and Pooh made only occasional appearances in Milne's poems after that. The last chapter of House at Pooh Corner, by the way, remains the most tear-jerking work of literature ever. Finally, now we go to 2003. The Cubs, 5 outs away from the World Series when this happened.
Again in the air, down the left field line. Alou reaching into the stands and couldn't get it, and he's livid with a fan.
That's awfully close to fan interference right there. The umpire's all over it. The umpire right down there, Mike Everett's on the play. If Alou has to reach into the stands, it's fair game for the fans to catch the ball. If the fan reaches out over the field, then it can be ruled fan interference. That is very, very close.
Disagreement here. I think we're kind of split on whether he would have caught it or not. But anyway, that was Steve Bartman becoming an undeserved villain to Cubs fans, deflecting the ball in the 8th inning of Game 6 of the NLCS, with the Cubs leading the Marlins 3-0 and 1 out. The Marlins would go on to score 8 runs in the inning, so it's a bit of a reach to say it was all Bartman's fault, but Cubs fans did. Bartman received hundreds of thousands of dollars in gifts from Marlins fans, which he donated to juvenile diabetes foundations. And in recent years, a GoFundMe page raised several thousand more dollars to fly him to a Cubs World Series game. He donated that money to Alzheimer's research. So that's your look back in history for today, October 14th, and I'm Donald Ang.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, getting back to some more news today. 2 more Democrats will join the Stratford Town Council after the party's candidates won in a Thursday special election. Scott Farrington Posner will take over in District 2. The Democrat emerged as the winner, receiving 350 votes in Thursday's special election. Republican challenger Ron Tishy came in second with 188 votes. And Farrington Posner will have to resign from the Zoning Commission once he takes his seat on the town's top board. He'll succeed Mark Dumas, who resigned back in June. Greg Cann also cruised to victory in District 5, receiving 268 votes. Former councilman and petitioning candidate John Dempsey received only 78 votes. Cann will succeed Joe Gresco, who resigned in May, to focus on his duties as the 121st District State Representative. And according to the Associated Press, a Connecticut-based Native American tribe is suing the state for hundreds of millions of dollars for land it says was taken from the tribal reservation starting centuries ago. The Schaghticoke Tribal Nation said in the suit filed Thursday that the state took 2,000 acres of land it was managing for the tribe without any compensation. The lawsuit says the tribe is owed at least $613 million, but the actual amount may be more. A lawyer for the tribe tells the Hartford Courant that we're simply asking the state to do what it promised to do and what it is constitutionally required to do. The Schaghticokes are not federally recognized. A spokesman for the state attorney general said the complaint is under review and any response will be made in court. And My goodness. It's Friday. I'm having a rough day today, guys. I was supposed to throw it back to Donald Dang for a Nutmeg Sports Update, but I totally cut that out and just decided to get back to news, Don.
Well, that's okay. The news is interesting. I did the Scotticoke Tribal Nation there.
I'm seeing Eric Gentry, our director, point at me in the background, and I'm like, what's the problem? But sorry, Don, Nutmeg Sports, very important. You're filling in for Frank Renito today. Tell us what's going on.
Well, thanks, Kate. Eventually. The HAN Network was live at Staples High School yesterday for FCAC volleyball, and what a match it was between the Wreckers and the Brian McMahon Senators. A thrilling back-and-forth 5-set match. McMahon took the final 2 sets to earn the 3-2 victory. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Good afternoon and welcome to the gymnasium at Staples High School as we get set for some FCAC volleyball here on the HAN Network. Free ball opportunity. Tipped over. We'll see what the call is. It counts. And the first set goes to the Wreckers.
The Wreckers win 6 out of the last 7 points to steal that, to basically steal that set away.
On to serve. It's long, and the Senators have won the second set. 25-19. We are tied at 1, but she'll be serving now with the set on the line, trailing by 8. Reeve Jackson. The shot was long, but Elizabeth Murphy stepped over the line. Staples awarded the point. They're going to win the set. It's 2-1 Wreckers. Anastasia Perry to serve. Safely puts one in play. Set behind the back, going for it, and the win, count it. So the Senators climb all the way back. They're going to take it 25-18 in set number 4. Anastasia Perry. Is it long? It is, and that's going to do it. The timeout iced Perry enough. McMahon comes all the way back to win it in a 5th set.
So the Senators improved to 11-1 on the season. They remain in first place in the FCAC's East Division. Staples falls to 6-7 on the year, still on the outside looking in of those top 8 playoff spots in the conference. Other volleyball scores from yesterday: Greenwich 3-0 over Norwalk. Wilton held off Trinity 3-2. Stamford beat St. Joseph 3-1. On the soccer pitch, we had a huge upset in the girls' side yesterday, with Ridgefield suffering its first loss of the season at the hands of the New Canaan Rams. Braden Dial scored in the 12th minute to give the Rams a 1-0 lead. Kendall Curtin made 7 saves to keep the Tigers off the board. That's going to do it for Nutmeg Sports updates. Don't forget, FCAC Tailgate, Saturday at 12:15, followed by live coverage of Wilton at St. Joseph football starting at 1:50 p.m. Kate?
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Don. Now getting back to more news today. Lacrosse players and friends from around Fairfield County and across the nation are rallying around one of the best lacrosse players ever to come from Connecticut as he faces a battle with ALS. Graham Harden began his high school career at New Canaan High School. He went on to be a defenseman and co-MVP of the University of North Carolina lacrosse team that put together a perfect season on the way to the NCAA championship 25 years ago. Harden would end his collegiate career as a first-team All-America selection and one of the top 50 lacrosse players in ACC history. In August, the 48-year-old Harden, a married father of 3, volunteer firefighter, first responder, and gifted boys and girls high school lacrosse coach, received the heartbreaking diagnosis of ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Anticipating the challenges ahead, he and his family have an army behind them known as the G-Force. The G-Force is comprised of people who have been touched by Harden and his family. Known as tireless givers, the Hardens are now on the receiving end of hundreds of supporters. To help the Harden family offset monumental expenses of living with ALS, a You Caring site has been created. Donations to the Graham Harden Family Trust can be made by visiting youcaring.com/Graham Harden. You can also find that link and a lot more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And in Weston, a public hearing to hear comments about the proposed removal of the Northfield tree has been set for Thursday, November 10th at 7:30 in the Weston Town Hall meeting room. The 4-masted oak tree is located at the corner of Norfield Road and Norfield Farm Lane. A removal notice was posted on the tree back on Monday, September 26th, and per state ordinance, there was a 10-day period where the public could write to Weston tree warden Bill Lomas and officially object to the removal. As of last week, Lomas said he's received multiple objections to the removal of the tree, and at the public hearing, he'll detail his assessment of the tree, and the public will be allowed to comment on why the tree should stay standing or why it should be removed. 3 days after that hearing, Lomas will make the final decision on whether the Norfield tree will come down. And it's time to celebrate the autumn, and one great place to do that this weekend is in downtown Ridgefield. Organizers of this weekend's Fall in Love with Ridgefield Festival are excited to show off the downtown area to those who are out admiring the fall foliage. The festivities kick off Friday night in Ballard Park, where the Parks and Recreation Department, Lions Club, and Boys and Girls Club are co-sponsoring a haunted hayride from 6 to 8:30. You can get a lot more details on that event at theridgefieldpress.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to run down the top stories of the week across all of our HAN Network news sites and get a final look at the forecast with Don coming up after this.
This is now 44 years I've been in this business. Digital came along. After I was in business for about 6 years, I had to totally reinvent the business. So I had to make a tremendous investment in my business. And Milford Bank was there for me. I don't really just consider Milford Bank a bank. I consider them a trusted partner in my business. My name is Jim Wilson, owner of Milford Photo. I choose to bank with Milford Bank.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester, where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1,000,000 points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Visit your local Allstate agent, Nick Montanero, at 6528 Main Street in Trumbull for a personalized quote.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ng for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Friday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and since it's Friday, we're taking a look at the top stories across all of our HAN Network news sites, the stories that got the most attention and the most comments from our readers, including from the Milford Mirror that the State Medical Examiner's Office and local police identified this week the person found dead in a burning car in Milford last Friday night as 72-year-old Richard Ware. People who knew him said Ware, a longtime Milford resident, had recently been released from jail, where he was serving time for embezzling from several local charities. He had been sentenced back in 2014 to 3 years in prison for embezzling more than $230,000 from the Milford Rotary Club, where he was treasurer, as well as money from 2 other nonprofits, the Milford Special Olympics and the Milford Club. Some of those funds were returned when the investigation was underway, according to reports, and at the time he was sentenced, he was described as a good family man and a community volunteer who had taken a wrong turn in life. His body was found late last Friday night inside a burning car near the Connecticut Audubon Coastal Center. The cause of death has not yet been determined, but you can check for updates on that story at milfordmirror.com. And coverage of the suspension of Darien High football coach Rob Trifone was a big story this week. Trifone was recently suspended for 2 weeks following an incident in which he struck the helmet of a student. That according to a release from the Darien School District. Trifone's suspension lasts through this Saturday, October 15th. Darien is scheduled to play Brian McMahon High School of Norwalk at home on Saturday at 1:30. As per the school's release, during the course of the varsity football game held at Darien High back on Saturday, October 1st versus Norwich Free Academy, an incident occurred with Trifone. Hearst, Connecticut media reported that the incident happened after Trifone helped remove a student from the field when that player got into an argument with a player on the other team. Among our other top stories this week were letters of support for Trifone, one signed by past football captains and the other by parents of former Darien High football captains. You can get more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And another top story this week, a New Canaan college student was hit by a car in Rhode Island late last week. 20-year-old Charles Deary was released from the hospital on Saturday, October 8th. He was recovering at Rhode Island Hospital after being the victim of a hit-and-run driver on Thursday, October 6th in Cranston, Rhode Island. The Brown University student suffered a concussion and broken bones in his shoulder, hand, and leg when he was struck from behind while filming for a school project. According to police, Deary was standing on the edge of the roadway videotaping a documentary for school. He was using a camera on a tripod at the time when he was struck from behind. According to News 10 in Providence, witnesses said the car fled the scene after the accident. Police said the car likely has headlight, hood, and windshield damage. And another top story this week, the Ridgefield Fire Department saved a 140-pound mastiff that was stuck in the ceiling of an Armand Place home on Tuesday, October 11th. Fire Chief Kevin Tappy reported that an air conditioning mechanic was working inside the home, and the owner's dog followed him into the attic, where the animal found a closet with a void area and fell through the hole 7 feet onto ceiling joists below. The owner went into the space to also try to get out the dog, but could not do it. They ended up calling the fire department around 10:30 in the morning. Captain Dave McDevitt arrived at the scene, according to Chief Tappy, and determined that there was no way to manually lift the large dog out of the hole. Firefighters ended up using rope rigging and pulleys and harnesses to lower rescuers into the hole and get the dog out. No one was injured, and the dog is fine, according to officials. And finally, our most clicked on story of the week was the poll for this week's Athlete of the Week. The HAN Network sports editors and broadcasters nominated 9 male and female student athletes for our Athlete of the Week, week 4 of the 2016 fall sports season, and that's sponsored by Runner's Roost in Darien. The winners will be announced tomorrow during FCAC Tailgate at 12:15, so be sure to check it out. But let's throw it back over to Don for a final look at the forecast. Don.
Well, it's going to look like some good weather for FCAC Tailgate tomorrow. Right now, beautiful outside today, sunny skies, temperatures comfortably in the low 60s. Steady breeze throughout the day. That should tail off as we get to kickoff time for tonight's games in the evening. Some overnight clouds hang around for another mostly sunny day tomorrow, about 62 for the high, and a light breeze with 12 FCAC football teams in action tomorrow. Mostly clear overnight Saturday, temperatures dropping into the low 50s as we head into Sunday morning, and then off and on periods of sun and clouds during the day Sunday. A little bit warmer, actually. Temperatures into the upper 60s and only dropping down to about 60 degrees overnight Sunday. And then a rainy Monday morning as you head back to work. So nice weather coming up this weekend, and that is going to do it for the weather.
All right, I like it. And Don, thanks for filling in today.
Hey, anytime. Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. No football tonight, but it's coming at you tomorrow. Kickoff is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. St. Joe's and Wilton face off. FCX Tailgate starts at 12:15. We have a lot of great guests lined up, so be sure to check that out. And we'll see you for your coffee break Monday at 11.